see who in the LGBT was going to make a video about this, and ain't one of you bitches who claim that y'all fucking give a fuck about the community or the spokespeople of the community, people who try to cancel me and all that, not one of you bitches have spoke about this yet. I find it interesting because bitches are in trouble. And let me tell you something, bitches are in trouble because of the consequences of their own actions. Now nobody calling nobody out. But if somebody calls you by fucking biology, baby, you call them out real quick. Let's talk about this. Why is nobody calling out that those two men and that mother beat the hell of that lady in Queens? Why nobody talk about that? Okay, maybe the mom didn't jump in. But them two sons did. The ones who were dressed up in fucking wigs and shit. Let me tell you something. You wanna know what happens? You wanna know what happens with that? Watch. This is what happens when you think you're woman enough to be on a woman. Unprovoked who did nothing to you. One thing is if that lady attacked you. One thing is if that lady is trying to beat on you, anything like that. Hate crime, any of that. I respect it if you whoop that ass. But bitch, you just sitting here putting your hands on somebody for no reason. Look. Everybody outside ready to whoop that ass. And you know what? I would say it's about time because that mother sat there and did absolutely nothing. She was applauding them two young men. And you know what I find crazy about my community? Everybody's real quick to call out everybody because they're not going along with their ideology. But nobody want to call out the shit that's wrong. Nobody want to call out what's morally wrong. I don't like it. And this is when I say that people are weird, that is what I mean. I waited on this because...
So what's the backstory? Tell us the backstory.
So I found the article on what this young man is talking about. Whose name? Ryan J. And he's commenting on this story. It's called The College Student. It's labeled College Student Attacked Over Queens Parking Spot Leaves Neighborhood as Mother and Daughter Suspects Apologize. Jada McPherson was attacked on July 7th in Queens, New York by a trio, including a mother and daughter, over a parking spot. After a college student living in Queens, New York, was attacked and jumped by a trio over a parking spot, she is moving out of the neighborhood for good, even after the community has rallied around her with support. On Monday, July 7th, Jada McPherson was attempting to park in an open parking spot along a street in Queens when a mother and daughter, along with an unidentified male neighbor, began to attack McPherson both verbally and physically. It just all happened so fast, McPherson told ABC 7 News. Her agenda was to pull my hair. That was their main agenda. Like it's 3 against 1, and I'm like 130 pounds, barely.
Wow.
The encounter escalated into a full-on brawl with the attacker swinging closed-fist punches at McPherson and pulling her hair. Racial epithets and derogatory remarks were hurled by both parties, including the mother calling McPherson a monkey bitch and the daughter calling her a slave. McPherson has only owned up to calling them an immigrant. In the days since, McPherson, a 21-year-old rising senior at Pace University, has made plans to move out of the neighborhood for good. She told the New York Post that her leasing company had even offered to relocate her elsewhere. After the brawl leaked online, the neighborhood and community from as far as Long Island held a rally in support of her. The mother and daughter pair, identified as 45-year-old Andrea Dimitru and 21-year-old Sabrina Starman, have since been arrested and charged with assault and harassment. The two have also since apologized, especially in the wake of footage of the incident leaking online, leading to an onslaught of backlash, including death threats. I just feel like the death threats are unnecessary, McPherson told the New York Post. Despite still being upset herself, I don't think the death threats are necessary. I just feel the violence, especially to her son, is completely unnecessary. He shouldn't be at fault for something that they did. I'll never do that again, Dimitru said. Ever. I learned my lesson. I will never do something like that again, and I will never condone something like that ever again. You want the parking? Take it. It's not worth this. This is not worth it. Meanwhile, McPherson has also gained a new outlook on life in the aftermath of the fight that has reignited outrage around black women's safety and calls to protect black women. It gives you a different look at life. Like, you understand what I'm saying. Like, certain things is just you just have to. Like, let it be, she told ABC 7.
Okay. So, one of the things that I had always realized when it comes to news outlets, education system, how things are worded, our books. Wording is very important because sometimes when you don't use the right wording, you miss context. And context clues are very important, especially in certain situations. So, by the first description, the guy stated that it was the mother and two sons, meaning that one was a transgender and one was a boy. Now, the mom did not assault the black woman, but her basically two sons did. In the news article, it said the mom and her daughter and her son, a trio, but never stated that the daughter was transgendered. And it's very important to state that because we all know, based off of studies and biologically, that transgendered women are a lot stronger than actual women. So you have two men, or kind of that were biological men that basically beat on a black woman for a parking spot.
Over an open parking
Over
spot.
an open parking spot because she got there first.
Right.
Then she got beat on because they were throwing racial slurs at her because she took the spot, and she probably retaliated and called them immigrants. And they decided to put their hand on this woman. If y'all seen the picture, which I will post as a thumbnail, that the assailants were Hispanic descent. So I think this raises a whole lot of questions. It is not okay, even if you identify as a woman, trans woman, for you to put your hands on a woman. It is not okay.
We shouldn't be nobody should be putting their hands on anybody. Period. This is that, not only that example, but the overall example. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yes.
And just like the mother who condoned it at first, and going through this right now, she says, I would never condone this ever. She's like, I would never do this again. She said, I would never do this again because of this experience.
And it's funny too how you now are playing victim after you racially assaulted a black woman and physically assaulted a black woman, but you claiming victim that you'll never do it again. You'll never do it again because of the outlash. You thought it was okay to do it and get away with it, and you would continue to do it. You didn't expect the threats, the community to volley for a black woman because nobody ever defends them. You are not regretting your actions. You're regretting the result of your action. It is not genuine. If the first thing that you do when someone takes a parking spot that does not belong to you is throw racial slurs, that is basically who you are. That is your personality. That is how you interact with African Americans. And that is one of our biggest problems, that we have to constantly deal with abuse and assault from individuals who basically have benefited off our struggles and who are here now. We get no respect. No respect is due to us. But you want us to rally and you want us to fight for you. You're just like everybody else. When it comes down to your basic needs, you'll sit there and throw an African American person under a bus for yourself. and you don't care.
It's for your protection.
For your protection, for your comfortability. You don't care about ours. You were willing to risk our safety for yours. And that's what we got a problem with, because one thing I have noticed about African Americans, y'all can say whatever you want to say, but we may harm each other. Unfortunately, we don't harm any other races. So we don't retaliate the same way. We don't retaliate with the same hate that is reciprocated towards us, which I don't understand why. But we don't. And everybody is protecting, except for us. And it goes back to also black women. Do you really think they would have did that if that was a black man?
Not at all.
Over a parking spot? I don't think they will.
No.
I think they did because nobody respects the black woman. Not even to the simple effect that you got here first, this is your spot.
Right. She could have been seriously hurt or killed. Because it's just like, that's the whole, that's the biggest thing about it. This happened in broad daylight, in Queens.
And child, what kind of boys are you raising that will beat somebody up over a parking spot?
A woman at
that.
A woman.
But like that goes to how you raise them boys. And no, unfortunately, I'm sorry, boo. People like you should not be here.
Yeah.
People like you should not be here.
I'm sure there's probably like a video somewhere.
It is. I mean, I can pull it up. Yeah. So a couple of days ago, I caught the video of her, in the news and the media crying about how now she can't leave her house and she's being threatened and people keep coming to her door and how she doesn't feel safe. So I'm like, I'm laughing. This is funny because that is everything that we say. And I'm pretty sure that's everything that girl said while your sons was whooping her ass.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's exactly how she felt. And you know what was going through her head? I'm getting beat the fuck up over a parking spot, child. Over a parking spot.
Uh-huh. She probably got some good licks in anyway.
Not only that, like, that's how we feel. Like, I get attacked just based off of because I'm born black. I cannot help that. But I'm deemed the enemy. That is a threat. That black woman got that spot first. You going to show her. Going to put her in her place. And you had your boys do it. You, as a woman, you ain't even addressed the chick. You had your boys do it. That says a whole lot about you. That you knew that woman probably was going to drag you, sis. That you had your boys do it. And at this time, I am going to refer to them as that because unfortunately what they did does not require you to have a label. To me, when you treat other human beings like that, regardless of the race, the gender, or whatever, you do not get to be referred as one. This is not cool. And this is what we mean. Because I know for a fact if that was a black man, that would never have happened. Never had happened. And I want to be the fly on the wall. Who else was there? I'm so happy that the community came to back her up in volley because we are tired of this. We will no longer continue to tolerate this for no reason, just because I'm born black and I'm born a woman. It is not my fault you deem me as a threat. I had to be. Who else is going to protect me? Think about it. You call black women strong, independent. Who else is going to protect them? So we're just going to keep letting y'all beat and abuse us? When do we get to live and be happy and be human? Do we gotta constantly be everybody's punching bag, stepping stool?
Mm.
Like, is that what y'all asking black women to be forever? I know. Look at that. Ooh. You want to read that? I'll let you read that next. But I mean, just like seriously.
I don't need to read it because it's just,
Like,
it's basically
I'll
just the
post
same.
the pic. I'll use that picture as a thumbnail. But I mean, come on. We are tired of it. We're tired of being abused. We're tired of being unloved. We're tired of being unwanted. And I'm supposed to have live my life unhappy, unloved, single, abused, taken advantage of, used, constantly putting my trauma into my work and my education, just to constantly be told that I will never measure up no matter how good I am. And we supposed to just say okay and live like that. Who would? Who would? Who would?
It's just a lot to unpack. You know what I mean? With the whole situation. It's a lot that went on with that situation.
But wording is very important. I like how they did that in that newsletter. I mean, do you know who wrote that article?
Well, there was a few different articles, and this is the New York Post article, and they still said daughter as well.
Okay, so it was it a daughter?
They said daughter as well. They just said daughter. And so, you know,
Either way, it was wrong.
either way, it was like either way, it kind of, I
I'm
feel
just
like,
going off of his post because he said their community.
well, yeah. Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think Ryan J was bringing more to the fact of, it wasn't about it wasn't about misgendering her.
Yeah.
That's like this is not one of those things. This is not about misgendering
No.
her as a person. This is not about that.
No.
This is about the action she took against this woman.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. So, this ain't like it was like now. Some of y'all are listening. This ain't one of those. Like, this ain't one of those things. We're not here to bash one community here.
No.
Nah, that's not what we're doing here. So it's more of just we're talking about this individual case with this individual person who happens to be is part of this community. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and their actions.
What they did. So this doesn't shine a light on the whole thing of the trans community. So
Yeah.
That's all. So I just want to make that.
I have no problems with the trans community. I mean, I actually have not run into any issues with the trans community, and I have been around a lot of trans women. So, just to go there, I have an issue with this act. And I'm calling out, and we all know that I also have a problem with people consistently abusing black women.
Exactly, and and this is what we're talking about. It's a shame that this trans woman decided to take this action against this woman. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the deal was. I don't know what occurred before.
Yeah.
That happened to cause that reaction. You know what I'm saying? For the mother to have her go and attack this woman, or did the daughter just go and attack her because she said something to her mother? You know what I'm saying? So I have no idea what happened throughout the situation. All I know is I was just like, they shouldn't have been, there shouldn't have been any physical altercation.
And I like that you bring that up because, number one, every time when you hear about an attack on a black woman, it is always, what did she do? As in, it's our actions that cause a reaction. Can y'all answer this question? What can anybody say to any individual that requires a physical response?
Nothing.
Nobody. Someone can say anything to me on the street, and it is illegal for you to physically assault them based off of what they say. Now, I know you can press charges when it's racial slurs, but once again, you can't assault them because of these slurs.
Not to mention terroristic threats and acts.
So I don't understand when people use that excuse. Well, what did she do to cause a response? Because there's nothing that no one can do that is supposed to cause this response.
Exactly, and I agree. And I agree with that.
Other races will use those same type of slurs and same words, and we can't just hit them for it. So why does it make it okay? Because based off of what a black woman does, it's okay to hit her. Because it's a control. It's to keep her in check. To make that bitch shut the fuck up. Is what it really is. And when she don't shut up, when she does not conform, when she's not listening, then you physically assault. But that's not how the world works. And that's not okay for you to do that to black women because nobody else can get that done. I mean, hey, I don't see y'all punching white men in their mouth and saying they deserve that. I don't see y'all doing anything to our oppressors and talk about how they deserve that. But I see you constantly beating on the black woman and tearing her down. I don't get that. Nobody ever got smoke for the oppressor. But we got all the smoke for, as y'all would say, the lowest individual on the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
Make that make sense. How does that make sense to you? No smoke for nobody else. The bank won't give you a loan, taking fees out. No smoke for the bank. It's the black woman's fault.
Yeah, but and this is just about like overall just about black women's safety.
Yes.
And I applaud the community for rallying behind her because I know she didn't expect it.
No, and I'm proud. It is a new day. I am proud of us. We are standing up for one another. I would like to say that I am witnessing that. Believe me, I am not bashing our community for not standing up for this woman because we are coming through. I am not bashing our community because we are showing face, black women and black men alike.
Yeah.
I am bringing light to the treatment by others to us.
Right.
Because for some reason, everybody just seems to just ignore it like it's a norm. And we as black people collectively are tired of it. Now, don't get me wrong. We're going to have some treatments of mistreatment of black men because there's definitely some. This one is just pertaining to the black woman. And believe me, I completely understand how y'all are systematically oppressed too.
Mm-hmm.
In your own way. In your own way. But this discussion was just based off of that.
Yeah, this is about protection of black women because it was in the first article that I had read in the beginning of the recording. It was these people from organizations about black women's safety and black women's and protecting black women. So a lot of these, just a lot of people within the New York community and Queens, Queens alone, and Queens is very diverse.
Yes.
So it's just the fact that most of the Queens community came and rallied behind her because of the simple fact, they weren't going to stand for that in their community.
I mean, I was shocked, not to say that these type of things don't happen everywhere, but I definitely was shocked to see it going down in New York, but New Yorkers don't play that. Y'all ain't playing it.
They didn't play that.
Y'all did not play that. They like, girl, listen, boo-hoo with the tears. I seen that. I was like, and she was sitting there crying and No, you didn't think that if you allowed your daughter and son to beat up a black woman over a parking spot that you would get death threats. That's what you didn't think. You just thought you was gonna beat this woman up and got the parking spot. Right. And my thing is, like, when she already parked and she got out the car, what was you gonna do? Beat her up, make her get in the car and move it? Like, I don't understand.
The whole situation is nutty.
Like, really, what was y'all going to do?
The whole situation is nutty, and
I feel like somebody had to be on something. No way people are just like sensibly thinking this.
I mean, you know what? We have no idea what happened.
We don't know, but I'm just like, but no, you know what? I'm wrong. I can fathom because I understand how much hate they have for us.
Yeah.
Correction to that. No, they do not have to be on it. It's actually an internal hate that they're really disgusted by us and how dare this, animal take something a human is rightfully owned, like a spot.
That's owned by the city, but okay.
No, it's actually an internal hatred. And that's what that is. Because ain't no way. Child, even if a person did take my spot, I'm not fighting over no parking spot.
No.
Like, child, okay, you got it. Whatever, sis. I know New York, it's hard to find parking. I know I got to do another 10 more blocks. I get it. Believe me. Don't think I don't know nothing about New York and parking. But at the end of the day, I'm not fighting nobody over no parking spot. You got it, sis. Look like I got to search 10 more blocks. Should have got there quicker. Should have been quicker than that.
Basically. And then let's honestly, back to the video, referring back to the video in the beginning.
Yeah.
With Ryan, and when Ryan J was talking about, the LGBTQIA plus community being real quiet, about this whole situation. So it's just like, I'm not surprised, mainly because the simple fact, now that I've seen the picture of this, of this trans girl,
yeah,
I was just like, oh, so she's white presenting. So it's just like, that makes a lot of sense why they're quiet, because she's white. And it
does kind of go back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
But
it just goes back to, the simple fact of how they're trying to humanize these two, even within the article. Wording. It just gets back to that.
And that's what they do a lot. When I was sitting there, when I told you we was watching the History Channel, and they was going back to America's earlier inventions, and the way the wording was in this documentary was basically that whites created a lot of these things, because there was no mention of who the actual inventor was. It just gave basically timeline of inventions. And I said, this is very important, because if you don't know who actually invented these things, you would not know that most of these things were invented by African Americans. And that's why y'all don't understand exactly what African Americans have contributed to the United States, because according to y'all, we haven't invented anything. But it's funny that when you have the Darwin theory, and you have certain inventions, and you have the father of gynecology, that they get names. They are labeled for their creations and what they contribute to America, but not when it comes to the African Americans, when majority things in America was created by us. And I said, this is so funny, because if you're not hearing that when you're being taught, it automatically kind of just indicates that these things was created by white America.
Yes. It's just, they don't come out, they never came right out and said who invented these things.
Yeah, not at all. But
it's just kind of like, from there, it just kind of appeared. So of course you would think it's by a white person.
Yeah. And then that's also the clause that we have with other minorities, that y'all don't understand what we contribute to the United States, this wonderful place, America, that you are in, the sacrifices, everything that we have invented, the civil rights movements, all the laws that we got passed that help y'all benefit y'all as well. Y'all don't understand the history of it, so you don't understand the importance of us. And a lot of y'all don't understand the importance of the black woman with the LGBT movement, that you so now the trans woman take advantage of the freedom that you have to be yourself in transition, was also assisted by a black woman that you so disrespect. And because you don't know the importance of us, because we have been demonized by society, especially in America, black women and black males, is the reason why we get this treatment. Would you have put your hands on that black woman if you realize that she helped you be who you can comfortably be?
Or just the one, or just the ones that you bite off and emulate.
Yes, it's like it's a lot. It's disrespect. We are constantly showing disrespect on a regular basis, and we're tired of it because of everything that we contribute and how everybody gets to progress off our neck and off our back and off our hard work, and that's black people. Period. Black people. Period. To this day, those traffic lights out there have not been recreated since the original inventor, which was a black man. To this day, the light bulb. So it's the disrespect. Nobody understands the contribution that we put into America, because that has been wiped out. It's not mentioned. It's just glossed over. And wording is very important, because without wording, we forget the context. And the context is very important.